Hello, everybody. This is Love Gone Funny. Yes.
Yay!
Love Gone Funny is a show for female comedians. I created Love at First Laugh about 10 years ago, and we've been going strong. I changed the name to Love Gone Funny because I thought it was shorter and better. And this is the Backstage edition. So you're going to get to see what goes on behind the scenes within the life of a comic, which is, wow. You get ready, buckle up, honey, because it's going to be a ride, okay? It's going to be crazy. And if you're on YouTube, please feel free to comment and ask questions. I'll be switching the screens to YouTube, and I'll be able to read them, and we can answer your questions. So let's get started. Yay! Woo! Woo! Here we have the comedians, Alice, Cutler. Welcome, Alice. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Paula Newman. Hi. Her birthday is the day after me. We're Leo Virgo cusps.
That's right.
Hey.
Has some exposure, but it is YouTube, so no watching today.
No. And we have Rosalee Mayeux. Mayeux, am I pronouncing it right? Good. Hi, Rosalee. She is out of town on the road, which we're going to talk about that. And there's a band playing, so that's why she's muted. But we'll talk to her, and we want to know all about your experience out of town, girl. So we have Betsy Salkind, excuse me. RFK Jr., a.k.a. She's been with my character, Bill, several times, and we love her. And the Tias, too. You've been with everybody, I think, all of my characters. And then we have Carol Newell. Hi, Carol. Can you hear us? There you are. Awesome. I think somebody's beeping. I don't know who it is, so make sure you turn the volume off, mute yourself.
It's just a truck backing into Carol. Just
Yeah.
cool.
I don't know. It might be Carol backing into a truck. I mean, it's Friday.
I love it. So, okay. So then we have Anastasia Washington. Welcome,
Hello.
Anastasia. Thank you for being
Thank
here.
you.
I chose these women. I love them. They've done this show before. And whenever I book somebody, it's not just because I think they're a great comic, but because they're a great human being. So y'all, in my opinion, are great human beings. So give it up for yourself. Oh, is somebody like eating chocolate or something?
Share.
What the hell?
I think it's Carol.
I
think it's Carol just went through the drive-through.
I think so. Yeah,
Of course, Carol's eating chocolate.
girl.
Yeah, right. I'll be home in 3 minutes after I just go to Burger King, and then I go get to the drugstore. I run my errands, and maybe I'll do a set afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. That's Carol. She's so busy. By the way, Carol is a booker, so we're going to ask her a lot about booking shows, which that's a whole different part of the comedy world, right, of being a stand-up comic. So, okay, let's start with Rosalee, because I want to know what's happening on the road, okay? So tell me, Rosalee, where are you right now, first of all? And I would love to know, what is your worst road story?
Well, right now I'm in Ventura, the city of Ventura. There's a band playing, and our show is going to be in a great room behind this, but we can't get internet in the back. So I'm sitting by the band, and sorry about the noise. I've been on the East Coast, but not up by New York. I've been down south on the East Coast and had great weather and met some amazing Southern comics, which I've always done the Texas, Louisiana area, which is where I'm from, just like when Alice goes to her home state. You know, it's great fun, but I've never gone east of that. And so this time it was, let's see, where was it? Atlanta, Georgia, which, by the way, has some absolutely amazing comedy and great clubs there. And so I made those connections. And, you know, part of it is maybe you get up, you don't, but you meet people. And then if they like your stuff, you get invited back. I really look forward to that. I've got some cousins who live there, which, you usually hide from your cousins, but these are cool cousins. And so I got to see them, and I was invited back. And then I got to do the North Carolina Comedy Festival, which is in Greensboro, North Carolina. I've done that festival 3 times because it is, I think, the best tape you'll ever get. It's beautifully shot. The woman who runs it, Jenny Stencil, puts on a great festival, not so much for networking with East Coast bookers, more East Coast comedians. I've met, kind of like the Alaska one, you meet such good comedians that you really do want to do shows with, and then you all connect in your cities when you go there on other jobs. And
right.
So it's an important connection, and I enjoy it every time I go. And so now I'm back in California, and I'll just end it with a joke. Somebody said, "Oh, Rosalee, writing the synopsis for your special, don't get into the weeds." And I said, "We're in California. It's legal here. I can get into the weeds."
Yes, amen. So what is your worst road story? Like anybody else? If Rosalee doesn't have one, do you have one, Rosalee?
Yeah, my worst one was I took my dog to Vegas with me, and I didn't realize that it's not a great place for dogs because the sidewalks are too hot and all that. But it was actually on the road driving that he was afraid of the bathrooms because the doors were metal and made noise. And the hardest thing was explaining to my dog that we're on the road, and in order to be a good road dog,
oh my God,
to get used to the ladies' rooms. But
oh,
also
wow.
sleeping in inappropriate places, I guess, is
It's the highlight.
bad road. Yeah, sleeping
Definitely.
outside gas stations and fast food places and hotels and all that.
Crazy.
In your
Well,
car.
we have somebody joining us on YouTube, Betrayed by Sins. Hi, honey. Welcome. So good to see you. And he's saying, keep going strong. Don't let your voices be silent. Have a safe and wonderful weekend, everyone. That's very nice. Thank you.
I have a little bit of a road story.
Okay, go ahead.
I was dating a fellow comedian, and he was on the road as well as I being on the road, but not in the same city. And apparently my dog wants to get involved in this. He's like, "No, don't talk about him." I'm going to. So we were in different cities, and he was always kind of just stressing out because, guys can't multitask. And he's like, "I don't know how to be in a relationship while I'm on the road." I'm like, "Oh, it's funny because I do it." But then I was like, okay, whatever. And then we were like back and forth, always like just breaking up back and forth. And so I was walking in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and this car, like walking to a gig, and this car stops and goes, "Hey, you're beautiful." And I was like, "Thank you." And then the truck turns around and follows me. And I was like, "This is a beginning of a freaking Dateline episode." Right?
Yes.
But he goes, "Are you single?" And I said, "I don't know. I really just don't know. Like, I don't know. Can you maybe ask him? I just don't even know."
That's hilarious.
I was just like, I really don't know how to answer that question, dude. Maybe.
That's too funny. I know that's another thing. Like, we travel a lot, even if we go in our city, and sometimes the areas are not the best areas. And how do you guys handle that? I mean, personally, I learned Krav Maga, which is an Israeli martial arts, which really gave me a lot of confidence that I could kick somebody's butt if they would be, aggressive. But I don't know if you guys had this happen. Like, I've had guys like go next to me and start talking and follow me to the gig, and I had to act crazy. Like, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the
acting.
Yeah, like, like, "I'm going to the mental institution right now. You want to come with me?" or something like that. I've done that. So tell me stories about that. Did you guys ever had somebody following you in a bad area? Betsy, you're nodding. Stalking you.
I have a story similar to Anastasia's where someone said, "You're too good looking to be driving alone."
That's scary.
So I said, "You don't know who's in my trunk."
Yes.
I love that. That's
Yeah.
genius. I love it. And Carol, you were nodding. So do you have any stories of stalkers or like somebody following you going to
Well, first of all, ladies, don't ever date a comedian. Don't ever do
ever?
it.
Yes.
Yeah, Carol, I've learned that I think multiple times through your programming.
Find you a nice little IT nerd guide today. But yeah, I know this is third grade school teacher that I'm giving, but inside I'm gangster AF. I am Good night. I'm not putting up with nothing. So good luck with that, guys.
Yeah, totally. That's hilarious. So another thing is like when you go on the road, it's very hard to eat healthy. So do you guys have any tricks that you do when you go out of town? Like, like I remember going to like Utah or whatever, and there's like McDonald's or stuff like that. And I'm like, I used to be on the road a lot, and I used to eat just crappy food. Do you guys have that happen to you where you eat just yuck food?
I'm a planner, so I always bring stuff with me.
Nice.
I have a cooler that sits in my car. I actually recently did a show. Last year, where I had to drive a couple hours. It was an event. It was like a fundraising event. It was like a corporate type gig. And just because of the timing, I like packed a dinner and I got there and I ate the dinner in my car. And then I get a message from the booker that was like, we can eat. They're providing food for us. You can eat. I was like, oh, I wish I had known. So then I eat again because I'm like, when you're given free food, you take it because we don't get paid much. So
yeah, no kidding.
But yeah, do what I do. That's just how I am. Like I just always have a cooler of food in my car. So
very smart. Yeah, just take your own food. But when you go on the road like for a week or so, then it's kind of like
you're flying. You can't really do that. Then I don't know.
I know, but you can go to like a healthy grocery store, but they don't. I don't know. It's very hard. Some of these towns, like I remember, I can't even remember the name. I think it was Winnemucca, Nevada. I'm not kidding. There wasn't even a Starbucks. It was a casino, and you could not eat healthy because there was just nothing around. It was horrible. And then like whenever you go on a gig, right, they give you food like for free, right? If they book you if you're a feature headliner, so you get free food, and the food usually is terrible. So do you guys gain weight or like get sick when you go on the road?
Well, I'm vegan and gluten free, so it's just as bad going to my friends' houses.
There.
Not on mine. I'm also vegan, so you can come over anytime. Yeah, it's terrible. I remember one time I went to a gig and I was throwing up. Like, I know it's gross, but I had to not eat because the food was horrific. It was terrible. So all right. So we covered going to the gig, the danger of it, especially being a female. Now let's talk about the stage itself. Do you guys have any pre-show rituals?
When I'm traveling, I like to try to look for the ghost that's going to be in the theater, and I haven't found one. So I run around backstage, and I'm like, "Have you seen a ghost? Is there a ghost? Anybody? A ghost?" And but I haven't found one yet. So that's kind of sad. But that's a ritual when I do a different theater.
Theaters have ghosts. I don't know. I heard that.
They all say they do, but nobody can tell. Like, where is he?
I have no idea.
There was one that was supposed to like feel girls up, and so now every time I go to that place, I'm like, why are we not being felt up?
Yeah.
What do I got to do, dude? Like, where are you?
Well, there definitely
am I not
are
attractive for you?
ghosts in the Comedy Store for sure.
Yes.
But have you seen it?
I haven't witnessed an actual physical, like I haven't seen a ghost, but like that place is haunted. That is,
yes.
There's something.
The vibe feels off, doesn't it? Feels a little weird. Yeah. I know.
Well, that could be for many reasons.
We're gonna leave it at that.
I mean, I think they've had the same Coke table in the green room of the main room that's probably been there since it opened. Am I right?
I
Yes,
think so.
that
Yeah.
that like mirror.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know why it's a mirror? Because they used to do lines.
Well, yeah,
See-
that's why. Hence the Coke table.
So I didn't even know that the first time
Oh,
I
you
played
said Coke
there.
table. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, by cocaine,
Nah.
Coke, I mean cocaine, not Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they drink Coca-Cola on that table too.
I'm sure they do.
Absolutely.
I had
Yeah.
no idea that was a thing. Like, and it's so weird that I don't know that's a thing because I was a child actor and my mom danced with like the Rolling Stones. Why don't I know where Coke is? I have no idea. But like, I was backstage the first time when I did the Comedy Store, and I was like, "Look at all this mirrored furniture. It's so cute. I love the aesthetic." And they're like, "It's for Coke, Anastasia," and I was like, "Oh."
Yeah. Absolutely. So, how do you guys deal with hecklers? Who wants to go first?
Oof.
I would say I want to talk about my worst heckler.
Ooh.
So when I say worst heckler, I'm talking about not drunk Karen, because there will be always drunk Karen, right? And you just accept drunk Karen. I'm talking the opposite. I'm talking the chaps that, which is men, not button, who will say something that you know has crossed the line, and there's that one moment of, am I going to do this with them and my whole set is derailed, or am I just gonna do my set and let karma sort them out, maybe outside in the parking lot? But there was one, and before me was because I was headlining this one, before me was someone who was doing all their dominatrix jokes, right? And they had a little whip with them. And so I can't even remember what he said. And I looked at him and then I looked at her like that girl code, like, can I do this? Can I do this? Right. And she sort of gave me the nod, and I dressed him and I was like, I think you want a spanking, but you're too chicken to get it. And I went and I got the whip and I changed I had my Doc Martin boots on and I had like a pleather top. I mean, I looked like a punk rock version of a dominatrix in itself. So it kind of fit the whole vibe. But then he just got so embarrassed because there was a long extension cord on the mic. So I went towards the other end and I could, he was in the back and I was like, are you going to do this? Do you want a spanking if you've been a naughty boy? And everyone was watching him and he was so embarrassed. I'm like, that's right. You can never handle a real woman. And I just walked back and everyone clapped, and I just then went on with the rest of my set. So I hate to shame people, but I did in that one moment. That was
Good for you. Good for you.
Yeah.
You have to sometimes to stop them, because some, that just don't know when to stop. True.
I don't know if he stopped because he was embarrassed or he was incredibly turned on. I mean,
Maybe both. And
I think
valid.
so.
Yes.
Yeah. So anybody else? How do you guys deal with hecklers?
I won't say I have a really good story. But I think usually it's just, it's finding the balance between addressing it without letting it take over, you know, because you gotta find, like, you can't ignore it, because then you're losing control. But then if you let your entire set be about the heckler, then you've lost your state, then you've just given them too much power. I think I've really done a lot with hecklers. I deal with sometimes people just, talking like as if you're not there. So, I've had moments where I've just stopped and been like, this is live, right? Like, this isn't TV.
yeah, I can actually hear you.
Yeah, I once had an issue at Flappers. It was in the main room. If you can picture Flappers, like it's like people are like awkwardly close to you if they're sitting right at the stage, and like their food was arriving. And it was like the second their food arrived, it was like suddenly there was no show. They were just like, hey, blah, 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 talking. And I just stopped. I was like, how's that food? Like, you're talking a lot about this food. How is it? So I think if you just take a minute just to acknowledge, but that's not, I don't know if that's not really considered heckling. It's more just someone being rude and disrespectful. But Yeah, I don't have a good story.
Yeah, I don't know if I deal with him that much, and I don't think I deal with him well either. Like, I think I was in Utah for this festival, and there's two speeds in Utah that I've learned. It's either like they're so belligerently drunk, or they're so uptight. There's like nothing in between. And so the first night of the festival, I was in this like gorgeous theater. It was night, and it was definitely the rowdy crowd, and they would not stop. I don't think they had seen a woman that was of color. They're like, oh my God, there's a mulatto on stage. So they just kept screaming for me to show them my butt.
What?
And I was like, it got to the point where I was like, I don't know. I guess I just turn around and show it to them because I want them to stop. You know what I mean?
God.
So I did. I just turned around and I was like, here's a butt. Here's my butt. Because I was just like, be quiet. Leave me alone, you know?
That's crazy.
So I just don't know that I deal with it well. I think I might just give in.
Yes. I remember back when I started, because I remember somebody did the same to me in Palmdale. And it was like way back. Like, this is like almost 20 years ago. And he was like, I'll give you $100 if you show me your butt. I was like, hell, if I walk away, he'll see my butt. So I turned around. He's like, no, you got to take your pants off. I'm like, what?
That was not.
No, you give me that money now. And $100 20 years ago was good money. So
well, yes. But
I know.
Maybe not naked butt money.
But wait, Grace, did you do it?
No, I did not. No, hell no. That's where I draw the line, is when I, taking my pants off on the stage. Definitely.
We all have a line.
Yeah. Showing the butt. I mean, showing the butt, they're going to see it when you walk away anyway. So who cares? You're up there, but no. So what is the biggest and the smallest audience you've ever performed for, and why was it special or not special?
I was like, where's she going with
smallest would be performing for the comics only.
Oh yeah, that's rough, isn't it?
We've all been there.
Yeah.
I had a really small audience when I was in Bangkok. And so it was a European Cup night. And those of you who aren't into football, soccer, don't know that. I mean, that part of the world is very frequented by Europeans. So when a football match is going on, no one is going to the comedy club, right? And so they went out to hustle, and there were 4 people who came, and there was 8 comedians. And we took a vote, like, do you want to even perform? And I was like, yeah, of course I want to perform. Like, I want my money. And I will tell you, it was the best show, because even though there were 4 people and they were in the front, they were so present. And, it was a weekend thing, and I was headlining. So everyone knew everyone's shtick anyway, right? Yeah. And so the MC came out and said, you know what? I happen to do stories. Are you up for listening to a story for my 10-minute warm-up? And everyone was like, yeah. So we started with his stories, and the rest of the comedians were so on point with their punchlines, and everyone was so present. I think I went for like 35 minutes of that particular night, and I had so much fun with the audience because they were attentive. Nice. I didn't have to wrangle them. It's still really dear in my heart. I mean, I can't use it for footage because it's so personal to the people in the audience that most people be like, I don't know why you're talking about Thai massage right now with that chat. It doesn't make any sense to me. And who is this woman with the frog and the blind woman on the street? Like, just things that everyone had to deal with getting to the comedy club, And so I found that really great. And the only comedians were there were the ones that were getting paid to perform. And they were present. And I'll just wrap it up with this. The MC was from Australia, and he said, back home, all the comedians would have complained about, oh, no one's in the audience. And he goes, I'm so glad, because it was a very diverse lineup, you know, people from different countries. He goes, I'm so glad everyone decided to do the show, because this is the best fun I've had in a long time.
Aw.
Yeah,
That's
it was really fab.
amazing.
Yeah. And the club closed down. You know why? Let me tell you why. Because the king wanted the property back.
Naturally.
What?
And you know, we're not that far off here, are we, really?
No, we're not.
Wow.
Yeah.
No kings. Anyway, so another thing is, you know, when we go on the road, we're in hotels, and they're not the best hotels, right? A lot of us, I'm sure, have horror stories. I have one horror story about a hotel that I'll never forget. This was back, I think, 2007. And we went to Reno, Nevada, and it was a group of women, and we were outside talking, right? We had adjoining rooms, and we were all outside talking, and then it was like 4 of us. And then there was like men coming like in and out of this room, and they would be like, yeah, like look at us, like, yeah. It turns out there was a meth hooker, like, or a coke hooker or whatever, and some kind of drug. And she, you know, the people were going in and out. And after that, I swear to God, I just started itching just being on the mattress of that hotel, because I'm like, maybe she was here last time, and I was just like itching all over. It was so disgusting. But anyway, that's my horror story. Do you guys have any hotel horror stories?
Yeah, I mean, the comedy condos could be
Oh,
disgusting.
yes.
But for me, the worst hotel one was I got into a bed and I felt this like ripping sensation on my leg, and I opened it up and there's a hypodermic needle in the bed.
Oh my God.
And then I told the front desk, and they said, "Oh yeah, that's the band room."
Oh, hello. Oh, did it break? Like, did you like get hurt or?
You know, just a little. I'm fine. I'm still alive, so.
I know.
That-
I'd be so paranoid.
Unless you're a ghost.
I would be so. Oh my God, she's the ghost in the club. No.
Yes.
Oh, that would
Wow.
freak me out. That would.
Right? I know, me
I
too.
swear-
I'm a germaphobe, so
I
yeah.
just thought everybody here was like not letting me get a word in, and then I realized I had muted myself.
Oh my God, Betsy, you are so funny, Betsy. I've known you since like from 20 years ago, when you used to do that bit with the squirrel that you eat. That, oh my God, you guys have to see it if it's online. If you have it online on your YouTube, you guys have to see it because it's hysterical. It is so
I
funny.
can vouch for that. I've witnessed that.
You witnessed it?
Yeah. Yes. And I don't even know who it was. I'm going to say, I'm going to call out a bloke right now. And they whispered to me, she's been doing this for 20 years. And I whispered back to him, but it's really funny. Wouldn't you if you had a bit that good?
Right. Exactly. It's brilliant. I love it. And, you know, Betsy also, guys, I don't know if you know this, she does RFK Jr. And she's
Don't do him. I do an impression of him.
well, apparently your character is doing my character, Belle. RFK Jr.
That's right.
Yeah, they made in the swamp. But anyway, yeah, no, it's very interesting. We made up a whole backstory. You've been on my Belle lives, and people love her. I'm telling you guys, we got so many views on the shorts that I made from it, and we got like 200 or 300 people during the live. So how did you come up with this character? Because, you know, stand-up is kind of like you're yourself, and then doing a character is more sketch comedy. So what inspired you to go from stand-up to sketch comedy?
Well, I think I did improv before I did stand-up. So I was, always kind of had both. But in this case, I was just I could not believe that he was our, the Secretary of Health and Human Services. I just couldn't believe it. And also, he was just, I just started sort of imitating or making fun of him on stage. And then people are like, oh, now you need to do the costume and the hair and the makeup. And so now I went all the way, and my mother didn't even know it was me. And it's kind of liberating to be a 73-year-old disgusting man. And, I have a lot of fun with it. And
I have a question though, Betsy. Yeah. Does it hurt your voice to do his voice?
Oh, good question.
Because my throat hurts every time I hear him speak.
Yeah.
And
Right?
I'm just imagining actually doing that voice. Like, I feel like that would be rough on your vocal cords.
I think when I first started doing it, it was like, and now I must have figured out how to do it, because it doesn't really.
I mean, you sound great now, so it's not, you're not doing. Oh my God.
It's just, I don't know what the.
Oh my God, that's him.
And the makeup, oh my God, you guys have to see. Go to her channel, and the makeup is spectacular. It's so bad. And you're brilliant at improv, because like when Belle asks you questions, you just pick it up and run with it and go someplace that I'm like, what the hell is she doing with this? Totally unexpected, which is what comedy is, right? It surprises you. You don't go to the logical place, you go to the off place, right? Where people don't expect it, and that's what makes a joke.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the female experience, because I've always been passionate to help my fellow comedians, female comedians. Like I said, I created this show a long time ago and booked on. I had a few token men that were friends of mine.
Ew. No, were they even funny? Do you think?
No, they were very funny. They were like, the ones I invite are my favorite guys. So, but it was 2 or 3, I think. I don't even think it was 3, maybe 2. And so being a woman in stand-up, it's a male-dominated field. Now there's more women, of course, but back like 20 years ago, right, Betsy? It was like mostly men, like 99%. So how has being a woman shaped your stand-up career?
Well, I just want to say this, that, because only men are in late night, they're the only ones getting fired now. So,
right.
we don't get the jobs in the first place. We're safe.
That's true.
That's true. I like that. That's a good take. Alice, you wanted to say something.
Yeah. Doesn't Tomlinson have a late night? Tomlinson?
Oh yeah,
but it's like a game show thing. It's not like it's not your typical late night.
Well, that's the only way she can get it to survive, right?
Yeah. What I will say, I mean, I feel like you could do a whole separate, like, this could be a whole hour on its own, this topic, because there's so much to unpack here. I will say this, I've been doing stand-up now for about 14 years, I think. I'm not like Carol, who knows her exact date. I'm not good like that. I'm like, I think it's 14 years. I lose track of time. But by the way, Carol just had her 13th anniversary of comedy last week.
Ooh, yay.
Anyways, and meanwhile, I'm like, I don't know, 14 years, something like that. And when I first started, I feel like I was just like any new comic, I was just jumping at any chance to do anything. I just would get stage time anywhere. And so I found myself in a lot of just kind of gross, like male dominated shows. And I just kind of rolled with it, I guess. I mean, it was, it's not, but I think eventually I got pickier and I found my niche, and it's funny because I produce a couple of shows, and the weird thing is, people say like, oh, there aren't enough female comics. I'm like, I don't know. When I book my show, I have a harder time booking male comics because I feel like I know more funny female comics.
Yeah, I agree.
So, sorry, I have something in my eye. Someone else talk, but I have more to add.
Okay.
I'll have something in my. Oh no, wait, it's gone. Okay, I'm good.
Okay, good. I hate when that happens.
I know. I'm like, anyways. And the other thing I was gonna say was, I still see it a lot at like. Well, if I get outside of LA, it's still mostly male dominated. And I think there are 2 ways to approach it. One is the way I used to approach it, which was I felt uncomfortable. I felt like, not 100% safe. I worried that my material wouldn't land. Like there was a lot of that. But I kind of try to shift it and think, well, now I'm bringing something to the stage that they don't have. And I find sometimes it is such an advantage because they're like, oh, a female, and there's always going to be someone in the audience who's going to be like, thank God, a woman, thank God.
Right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of it's a matter of shifting your mindset of maybe instead of it being like alienated, you can use it to your advantage. But I will say one more thing. One thing that drives me nuts, although I haven't experienced it as much lately, when there's like the host, always a guy, who's like, are you ready for a woman?
Oh my God, I hate that.
Now we have a woman. I'm
like they wouldn't figure it out.
I know.
Exactly.
Or like what people in the audience would be like, oh my God, there's a woman? Wait, oh my God, women can be funny? I don't know. Should we stay? Should we stick around and see what the woman has to say? It drives me nuts. But anyway, sorry, I had a lot to say about that. I probably have more, but go ahead.
Can I say something about when the woman does get complimented, like how it is also undermined as well? So bye, Rosalee. She's saying goodbye, everyone.
Yeah,
Bye.
Rosalee, I know. Bye, honey. She
Have a
has
great
to go.
show.
She just texted me. Yes.
Have a great show.
Have fun.
And so I did this thing the other day, and although it was a male comedian who was organizing it, it was kind of a wellness thing, right? And so what happened was there was 3 of us. There was the main person, there was going to be a bloke introducing, then I was going to come on and do a section, right? Just a small section. I could feel the fear of the man about it because it was actually in front of these millionaires, and I actually don't care. I will talk to the person behind the bar as I would the person who owns it. I care about the heart of the person.
Yes.
And so I could see they were getting really nervous, like the person who'd organized it, who happened to be a comedian. Well, no, you know what? We've got to cut back. So he started cutting my time back, right? He started cutting my time back. And he goes, well, actually, no, I want you to sort of add to it. So don't go up on the stage. I was like, okay. I go, you want me to sit in the audience and come up? Well, sort of like a surprise. So we'll be off to the side. We'll maybe be off far to the side. And before the stage area was this massive swimming pool. And I said, would you prefer if I was underwater in the pool saying what I need to say? And so I went up. I made it very short because I was like, I'll just do it. And at the end, he's got these such 20 millionaires there, right? And he's like, so what did you think of the presentation? And this woman at the back puts up her hand. She goes, I want just acknowledge that bright light of a woman that you had that came on. I felt so honored to be in her presence. And what she said really resonated with me. And you know what the man said? He goes, rather than saying, yes, I get the best people, he went, she was only on here for 3 minutes. What are you, her shill?
Oh my God, that is so disgusting.
And I just hope, let's just say this as a female collective in the universe, that one person who loved me is the millionaire who will then hire me to do private gigs that I can have you on. Okay, let's just say that.
Yes, that's what it's all about. Absolutely. Listen, I had a booker say to me, it's in writing on Facebook. He was like, I don't book women because they're not a big draw. Okay.
That's not true at all.
It is. Thank you. But that's what he said. And this was maybe 10 years ago. So back then, it's not like today where people are a little bit more careful what they say. He was just like, no, honey, no, women just don't draw a crowd. I'm like, okay, whatever.
I've been doing this for 40 years now.
Go, Betsy.
Wow.
Yay.
And I think, I think women have to produce because
yes,
we have to make our own opportunities and opportunities for each other. And there are so many great women comics now that I don't think people can legitimately say women aren't funny or there's no good women comics. It's just so obviously untrue.
Yep.
I became a comic so that I have material to do. So I think we have to do the whole thing.
This is my third all-women show this week.
Yay! Woo!
And I will say this, not to make it like women are funnier than men. I think people are funny, period.
Exactly.
Regardless of gender or anything. But I do find in general that women are funnier, not because they're just funnier, but I think it's because we work in an industry where we have to work twice as hard for half as many gigs. And
Yes.
so I think we're working harder than like the guys get up and like, I just wrote this in the car right over. Is it funny? And it never is. But they have the confidence. They have that confidence to get up. Whereas women are like, I don't know. I rewrote it and I rewrote it and rewrote it. And I did it like 5 different mics and I rewrote it. I don't know. Is it good? I don't know. You know, but I mean, there's got to be a balance there. But it's like the point is we consider ourselves because we
somebody's in a hurry.
I know, right?
Sorry.
It's just,
and I think women are more supportive.
Yes.
And women are more likely to bring people to their show.
Yes. Agreed.
Because they'll do the work to promote.
Yes.
Yes.
We do the work. That's for sure.
Also, we're adaptable. I feel like guys, if they're thrown off by anything, like any factor, they're like, I don't know, like they're like, wait, what? But I was supposed to say this, so I can't.
You can't say anything anymore.
Is that your ex? Are you doing an impression of your ex right now?
He does not.
Wait, we're in the same city doing gigs? What? I can't, like, we can't date because we're in the same city doing gigs.
Grace, I want to go back to what you were saying about how a booker said that women aren't a draw. Obviously, we know that's ridiculous. But
Absolutely.
The thing is, how can you say that when more than 50% of the population is female? Who is your audience then?
Exactly.
You know, like it's the same argument for including anyone on your show. You know, like it's not just about booking women; it's about booking people of color. It's about booking, you know, people who are not cis, people who were, you know, it's just
absolutely.
If you want the audience, you have to represent everyone. If you want more people in your audience, and that obviously goes for booking women.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. I produce shows, like I said, at Flappers every month. It was a monthly show, and it was probably, I think, 5 or 6 years that I produced, and the shows were always packed. We only had to cancel one because we had less than 5 or whatever. It was just a weird day, but they were always packed. So like Carol said, not only do women, you know, invite more people, but they are a draw. And it was an all-female show, and everybody knew it was an all-female show. So, yeah, but when that person told me that, I was like, this is some BS. And it was a male booker, obviously. So have you, because of all this that we're talking about, you know, how it's a little harder for women, have you ever felt like quitting? Like, I'm done. This is some bullshit. I just don't want to do this anymore.
Yes.
Yes, who said yes? And Carol is saying no.
Yeah, me, Anastasia.
And Alice.
I have almost quit a couple times, but I don't think it was like seriously. I just think I was upset and I needed a good like car playlist cry and to get back at it.
I definitely had moments of utter frustration and imposter syndrome.
Yes, right?
I mean, we all have imposter syndrome, don't we?
Yes.
Are you even a comic? No. Everyone, but I've never quit. In fact, sometimes if I feel like I can't get booked or I can't get anywhere, it motivates me more. I'm like, I'm going to show them. Watch me. I'm going to get on late night. Not now. No one's getting on late night now, but
late night dying a terrible death.
That ship sailed for me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to talk about that.
No. That's
we're
a
not
whole
going to
other
talk
hour.
about that.
That's a whole extra hour.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't even. I grew up in a military dictatorship, so I know all about censorship. Anyway, moving on. What does success mean to you now versus when you started?
Ooh.
Being an artist.
I love that.
I love that.
Because
I think it's you know, just the any kind of it's not just being a comic. It's like anything creative. It's really hard to measure success because you may never make a living.
Right.
But if you're doing it, you're doing it. And that's a success. I think for me personally, I know, Betsy, you were talking about book producing. I know, like, Carol, you produce, but Paula, like most of us here produce. And I think for me, I felt so much more successful, even though I'm not really making much money as a producer either. It gives you some sense of control. And I feel like it's because I can't just be at the mercy of bookers all the time, especially when half the shows are like ringer shit. Screw that. I will not do ringer.
Yeah,
shows.
forget that.
Kind of, or just like sausage fests. Like, so I think for me, it was. I think for me, and I'm not saying producing makes you is the measure of success, but I think for me, it makes me feel like I'm controlling my career a little bit.
I agree. Do you guys workshop jokes with other comics? I know, Alice, we've been in that group and I love it. And it was all of us. It was 3 women. It was 4 of us, 4 women. And it was fantastic because it really, and personally, I love it because it comics are very honest and they will, tell you the truth. Like, that's good. That's not good. You can tag this, you can do that. So how do you guys feel about workshopping your jokes with other comedians?
I love it. I have a group. I have a couple of different groups that I'm in that we do that. The long set mic with Rosalee. And then there's another one, comedy brainwashing, that I do with a assortment of people. So whenever we can get together and do that, I find it highly valuable.
Same.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, I'm in that group. I think there's some of us, Carol, Grace, Rosalee, a whole huge group, the long set mic. And then I'm in 2 other like Zoom feedback mics. And yeah, I think you have to workshop. I mean, well, you don't have to, but I think it's really hard to write in a vacuum,
Yeah, it is.
That said, I'm careful about who I workshop jokes with.
Yes.
Because you don't, and last thing you want is some random person at a mic giving you unsolicited advice.
Oh, don't you love that?
Oh my God. You know what you should do? You should say this. I'm like, no, that's not funny.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I never use anything people told me to use like that way, in a workshop, yes, but not.
Yeah.
Like, you should do this joke, like, shut
and
up.
it is always hard too, because sometimes I'll hear a joke, I'm like, oh man, I got a great tag for it, and it's like, it's like, when is it appropriate to tell them? And it's like, if I feel like I know them well enough, and I'll be like, hey, take this or leave this, but I just thought of a tag. Like, you kind of have to approach that carefully, because you don't want to be like, I got a better joke for you. It's more like, I had a thought. If you want it, take it. If not, no.
But the person. It's not some rando person that you just met, and they're like, don't you love it when the audience tells you, I'm going to tell you a funny story, you should do it in your act? It's like, no, honey. First of all, it's not funny. And second of all, no, I do my own thing. I have plenty of
That's
stories.
it. I think people don't realize like that jokes have to be from your voice.
Yes.
It's like when some random person knows you to come, you're like, oh my God, you know what you should do joke about? I'm like, no. You do that joke.
I have a pizza guy who keeps trying to tell me these jokey jokes that like are so old and so stale.
Oh no.
Staler than his pizza. No.
No.
And he's like, oh, did you use my joke? Did you use my joke in your act? I'm like, no.
Never will. Thank you.
You should just say yes, and then he'll be like, done. Maybe.
I don't think so.
Say yes and tell him nobody laughed.
Yeah, just be like, oh man, it didn't land.
I don't want him to spit on my pizza.
Yeah, because even if you do have your great group of people, someone can say something that's funny, and then I will go up and do it in a show, and it's not my voice, like Alice said.
Right.
It's not my rhythm.
Right.
Like, it might be a good punchline, but the way I say it is not as funny if I say it in a weird dyslexic British way, because I'm funny. But so I find like Alice was saying, even though a lot of some of the shows that we do in LA, are sort of almost open mic, as long as it's supportive and the people know you, my whole little bit that I'm now doing with Bridgerton is I just did it on a riff in front of some comics, and someone said, I think you could go further with this. And how about this idea? And I was like, you know what? That links into so much of my material. Why didn't I even think of that? And then I can go off, and then I have a safe space, like in Carol shows, where I can just start playing. Because people are like, oh yeah, you got to do the open mics. I get very nervous about that in the city that knows me. Like, often out of style, out of town independent shows, you have booked where people are paid for a few spots. That's different. But it's really where I can feel safe to, you know, like Betsy say, be an artist wherever I can be an artist and I feel safe. And then I have to, I mean, it's really good because afterwards I then process it. Like, did that person have my best thoughts when they said it? Or, oh, they're coming from what they think is funny, and do you find their comedy funny? Like, or if I don't find their comedy funny, do I appreciate the artistry in what they do, even though it's not my cup of tea?
Right.
Exactly. And also, you know, as a stand-up comedian, as an artist, period, we experience things, and it's how we experience things and how they make us feel is what matters. And that's why we can't use other people's stories, because they're their stories. They lived through it. We haven't. So I think as artists, and for me, it's all about how we see things and how we feel things. And that's what makes us unique.
If I'm honest, Grace, there have been jokes that other comics have done that I would love to have as much.
Yes, of
Oh,
course.
for sure. Do you ever hear a comic tell a joke and you're so mad you didn't think of it first? You're like, oh my God, that's so good. Why did I can't. It just happened to me the other day. I can't remember what it was. I was so mad I didn't come up with it first.
It happens.
Yeah.
It happens a lot. So what is your favorite part of being on stage?
Attention. No,
The instant gratification of laughter.
The sound of laughter. That's what you like.
That instant gratification that you get. That's the thing about stand-up comedy that you don't get with movies or films or plays, or maybe a little bit with plays, but you get that instant gratification of knowing whether you're funny or not, whether the audience is with you, whether they're paying attention to you, whether they're, you know, coming along for the ride, be it as it may. But that's what I think the best part of stand-up is that instant reaction, and that you get those laughs, and that to me is what makes stand-up worth doing.
Absolutely. 100%. It's that instant connection with the audience.
Right.
Because that's what the laughter is, right?
Right, the relatedness. So sometimes it's not a laugh, sometimes it's a clap, right? Like you get the stop claps, and people are, you know, are relating to that specific thing, even though it seems like a wacky scenario. And that's, like you said, you feel finally connected to another human being.
Yeah.
There is deep, profound relatedness, and one gets to be part of that experience. And at the end of the show, when you talk to people who are like, I can't believe you said that. The thing happened to me, and people thought I was crazy. And oh my God, that was just brilliant. My head thinks that way. Like, that deep, profound relatedness makes me feel more of my purpose as a human being.
Right.
Connect to be in the world and make the world a better place. Like, I've done something, help someone else vocalize their truth through my insane act outs. Because let's face it, most of what I do is act outs. I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, to like, you know, just kind of like piggyback off that. Yeah, like for a long time, I mean, I was a kid actor, and then I grew up, and obviously that happens, which is unfortunate. And like, people were always telling me what to do and what to say and how I should look, and what, like, they even changed my name a whole bunch of times. And I think I really found my voice in stand up, like, oh, who am I? Who and what do I want to say? And I stopped holding back on some of the things that were really important to me, and found a lot of people also feeling that way. Absolutely. You know, and that made me feel less alone. But also it's just like it's really important to start conversations. I mean, I love comedy and I love horror, because both of those are just really great ways to like spoon feed somebody something and start a conversation. And so I think that's what I really dig about that.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then, you know, there's bombing, right? Yeah.
None of us here have ever bombed.
Ever.
We just don't know what that
we
feels
don't
like.
do that. We don't do bombing, period. So do you think bombing makes you stronger or it just plain hurts?
Well,
Oh.
I'll tell you, the
Oh.
very first open mic I ever did, I had done stand up already. I had been booked on a show, even though I had never done stand up before. And then I got those, laughs, and it was on, like Donkey Kong. But the first open mic, which was probably almost a year later, I got 0 laughs. I was the only person in that audience laughing at anybody. And then when I got up, there was nobody laughing at me.
Oh,
And
man.
Well, that's a
it
mic.
was
Yeah.
it was flappers, by the way.
Oh, really? Oh,
And then about 2 years ago, it was right at the end of the pandy. So I had gone in there to meet someone at Flappers, and they happened to be doing the open mic there. And I just threw my receipt in there and just, for shits and giggles. And they did pick me, and I got up there and I unalived that audience. I did so good, and I felt so vindicated. I was like, yes, I did it. I made Flappers laugh. So yeah, that is probably the only like true bomb that I ever really did, but that was also the most the thing that, like, to go back there and at the same place to do so well with just a random audience was just outstanding for me.
Love that.
yeah.
I once did a gig where they hated me so much they fired the person who booked me.
No.
But fortunately,
Wow.
the bombing, that wasn't really a bombing. They just didn't like what I had to say. I'm
There's
glad
that.
that I didn't hit bombing until I'd already done enough gigs that went well, that I was hooked.
Mhm.
Because after each bombing, I definitely wanted to quit. I was like, why am I doing this to myself? This is horrible.
Yes.
And then,
Yeah.
but then you'd have a good one, and then it would just kind of keep you going until you got there. And then eventually, it still happens. It's still a bummer, but I learned, okay, Friday night audiences are just not as energetic as Saturday audiences, and that's just facts. And they don't know they're a bad audience. So to try not to judge the audience by, and part of it, and this maybe goes back to what you said about the ritual. I finally learned to do a ritual that allowed me to center in myself rather than feel the need to have the feedback from the audience. I still want it. I still love it, but I don't need it the way I did. And
yes, I think that's part of the journey too. We started like we want that validation, but once you just do it enough and you just don't care. It's like if they get it, they get me, and if they don't get me, they don't get me, and it's okay. It's like I see it as going on a date. Some people you hit it off immediately. Some people you're like, I need to go.
Exactly. I don't think it's ever really bombing. I don't view it that way. I think it's like learning your audience and learning how to adapt. I mean, I am like, being half black and half white, I'm such a code switcher anyway. And I usually like have a joke that could bomb immediately or will resonate with the crowd so that I can do the rest of my set knowing what temperature the audience is. And that could be, bombing in a way, but I don't feel like it's that way. It's like a temperature gauge, and then I kind of code switch around. Just learning, I feel like.
And I think just to add to that, sometimes you bomb and it sucks. And I recently, I bombed, I don't know, it was a few months ago, and I just cried all the way home, and it was awful. It was at Flappers too, and I usually killed at Flappers, but this night I just bombed. It was awful. But then for me, I have to turn around and be like, okay, was it the material? Was it? And I have to go, okay, well, this is the same material I've done in front of other audience. And I just happened to have done, I remember that night, I was like, okay, I did that same set, almost, not exactly, but almost the exact same set, like the week before, and unalived. So I was like, maybe it was the audience. And I think one thing you have to remember, that's sort of what Grace and Anastasia are saying, is that no one is going to come up with material that everyone's going to love, period. And if your material is for everyone, then it's probably really boring. So
generic
I mean,
and like
yeah, if it's gonna please everyone, then it's probably like not that interesting. It's probably kind of hacky, and it's just like a little funny and not that funny. So
Yeah.
I think
Mildly funny. Mildly funny.
mildly funny. Yeah. So I just sort of have to remind myself in those moments, like, okay, like Anastasia said, okay, that was not my audience, and it's okay because I have my audiences, and I could take that same material and do it elsewhere, and I will unalive. And
I hate to have to say that. Sorry.
it's just so funny to say that.
I know it's so
But-
ridiculous.
But yeah. So it's just, and I just had to be like, okay, well that night maybe this just wasn't. And sometimes the audience is just off. Period. There are some nights where they're not really laughing at anyone.
or you're off. I mean, I once was broken up with before a show, and I was a little bit off my game. You know,
No kidding.
Yeah.
I might have had cryy eyes on stage.
Yeah.
Can we say murder? Can we say murder? Can we say murder?
No, I think I don't think so.
You
It's
just
so
said
annoying.
Oh, sorry. All of us, Carol. You canceled us
I'm
all.
just talking about a group of crows.
You know, I would like to. There's just one thing we
I
have
just
to.
group of crowed my set. I group crowed my set. There we go.
That's hilarious.
Oh God.
That's
The one
good.
thing that is when it comes to the B word, is I don't know how you are, but I am so critical and hard on myself.
Mm.
And I think from my experience, a lot of people are, but predominantly women are super critical of themselves.
Yes.
And I remember I was in Sydney and I did this gig, and I remember, first of all, I'll never do that again. I will always make sure I adjust more jet lag. But I remember before I went on, everyone was laughing at jokes, and I was thinking, I don't understand why people are laughing. Like that's
Ooh,
like,
wow.
this is going to be a tough night, Paula, right?
Yeah.
And I came away and I spent the evening staring at the ceiling with the fan going around. Like, I'm never going to do this. I don't even know why I'm doing this. I felt like I literally disconnected the mic from the cord because I didn't get the message about the dodgy mic. And then because of my jet lag, I couldn't see where the prongs were, like, and I felt like when I got it done, that was the biggest cheer I got in the whole set. I actually put the mic back together. And the next day I went to a different gig and I was emceeing, and a chap was like, oh yeah, I saw you last night. And I was mortified. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I came up with all these excuses, right? And he just looked at me and he was like, okay, I thought you were really funny. And if that's you bombing, then why are you not on Netflix already? Like, it was just a sweet way of saying, and me getting right sized. And that then gig, which I did that night, went great. And I think it's all of these things to be considered. But the biggest one here is our self-critique of ourselves. Sometimes you're not bombing. You're just not hitting 100%. And that's okay, because a lot of people don't hit 100% because you can't fit every audience all the time. And it's this delusion of what we think we're supposed to be versus them being an artist and going up there and finding our people.
Yeah.
And going back to Grace's analogy of dating, sometimes you need a restraining order. And, so I don't go to certain places. Like and this also helps with the food thing that came up earlier. I choose where we're going to go because I'm not for everyone. And so if there's good food and people who might appreciate my humor, I'll go there.
100%. And so what is the most surprising thing that you guys learned about yourself through comedy?
Ooh.
That's a deep question.
Well, I became a comic, or used to say became a comic, so I could be myself and not be institutionalized. I think there is something incredibly liberating. And whether you're a comic or any other kind of artist, you are outside. You have already not accepted the rules.
Exactly.
Especially as a woman.
Yeah.
And it's very liberating.
I agree. I learned how vulnerable I can be. Because I talk about things on stage that I'm not a very open book usually. you know, at least when it comes to like, you know, more difficult parts of myself. And I find I can be very open about it on stage. There's something about being able to laugh about your more, what am I saying? Trauma, being able to laugh about your trauma, that makes it tolerable, right? And so I think that would be what I learned about myself, is that I have the ability to be very vulnerable, but it's with the mic in my hand telling a joke about it.
I think I learned that I'm not as dirty as I thought I was. Yeah, like I used to think that I had a potty mouth, and that I was like, just like, and then I just have learned, and maybe it's just LA, that I'm pretty plain Jane. You know, I'm just like, yeah, and I'm like, wow, it's like I'm the odd one because I'm not, you know, like poly or, you know, and I'm straight, and it's like all unfortunate. I didn't choose any of it, but you know what I mean? But it's like, I'm so like, everyone's like, what? You're not even, and I'm like, I know, I'm just like this, you know? I like one guy at a time, and it's really bad for me, and I don't like it. But
that's not very LA for sure.
Yeah, and then it's like also just like I do think I talk about my sex life and stuff like that, but I guess I also don't use as dirty words as I thought I did, you know? Like I just was like, wow, I'm not a clean comic, but I'm almost a clean comic.
Yeah,
almost.
I get it. Yeah, no, I totally get it. So what is your proudest comedy milestone so far?
Well, I did record a special. It's on YouTube. You can find it there. I think honestly, being able to produce shows like 2 to 3 shows a week, which, you know, for me is kind of not that much, but for other people, they're like completely amazed. I just love the fact that I can, and that I do. I was up to, during the pandemic, I was up to 8 shows a week.
How do you do that? That's insane.
Like 3 Zoom shows and then 4 outdoor mics, either, you know, at parks, parking lots, whatever. So I was doing 2 on Saturday and then 1 every night of the other days of the week. So I don't know what I was thinking, but I just, you know, I really said yes to a lot of things during the pandemic and right thereafter, because a lot of things in my life changed. My husband passed away. The pandemic happened. I lost my job, my longtime job. So I got a new job, but luckily, and then I started dating again. So I was just very much a yes woman. So that also translated into the comedy situation, because I was like, I'm not staying home and not do comedy. That's not happening. Because I was already, you know, almost 7 years in at that point. So yeah, I was, you know, very much addicted to comedy, as much as anything else. But yeah, so I find that the fact that I can keep still doing these shows is an awesome thing to me.
Yeah, and you're such a great booker. You're like such a kind person and flexible, and you know, just you're amazing. You never get mad at anyone. You know?
If I got mad sometime at anybody, every time that they called off, I'd just be mad all the time.
Right. Exactly. No, I get it. I totally get it. You work with what's happening at the moment, right? That's how the producer, you just have to do that. And that's the way it is.
Well, yeah, and because of the pandemic, I think a lot of that too is that, you know, you can't blame people for getting sick. So, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, stuff happens,
I
you know, like I had a couple of people that couldn't make it today, and that's okay. Whatever. You know, you guys are here. We work with the people that are here, and that's okay.
Yeah, more time for everybody else.
Exactly.
There you go.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right. So one last question. Okay. And I want everybody to answer it. Where do you see yourselves in comedy in 10 years? Take your time.
Will there even still be comedy in 10 years?
Yes, there will.
No, there will be. We will prevail.
Yeah. Yeah, I see myself as as the female Jordan Peele. That's what I see.
Oh yes, I love that.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
that's
actually
my
so
goal.
winning. So you'll have an Oscar.
Yes, of course. Well,
And
I
you-
technically have sang an Oscar-winning song and played at the Oscars, but yes, I would like another one. That would be great.
That would be amazing.
Okay. No big deal. She's like, no, I already have that. I'm going for bigger, Jordan.
Yeah.
Well, it was best song, so I just sang it. I didn't, John Williams got the freaking Oscar. They didn't give it to me.
Yeah.
You know, Zelensky was a comic.
I know.
Yes. Yeah. So
So,
are you saying that you plan to be president?
well, I'll probably be working senior homes in 10 years.
No.
No, I don't
You'll be
think
I
president.
don't think you're old enough to be president.
Not in this country. Definitely not. Wait, you're a woman. Come on, that's not happening.
Yeah.
Women can't be
Be real.
president.
Be real. Sorry. I would. Okay, in 10 years. I mean, if you asked me this 10 years ago, I would have been like, I'm gonna be headlining clubs. I'm gonna be on the road with touring, and I realized that was such a it's kind of hard to say. I mean, I definitely plan to still be producing my own shows. I will be headlining more, not just the 3 times I've headlined. Okay, 4 times, whatever, 5 times. Okay. Oh yeah, I guess I headlined more than I thought I did.
Right.
Okay, 5 times, but no, and I would love to say that I would be like making a living. That might be tough. I don't know. That feels unrealistic.
You can. Why not?
Okay, let's put it out there. In 10 years, I'll be making a living.
Nowadays, there's different ways you can make a living online, even as a comedian or a comic.
True. I believe in you.
All right, it's going on my 10-year vision board.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah.
So how about Carol and Paula?
Well, I'll be retired. So retired from real job, hopefully at that point, and then just out there, I'll win the lottery. I'll go tour the United States and do all the shows that will have me.
That sounds amazing.
Love.
Sounds like a great plan. How about you, Paula?
Well, my intent is that everything that I'm doing with the wellness and the Rise Up comedy and stuff, we are doing more stuff online now, going to have more regular online shows to bring that some streaming income for me to be able to travel different places in the world and show up and me be at the comedy clubs there, but also doing the wellness stuff and helping integrate that and more corporate, higher paid gigs to support me being able to do stuff where I can do shows for comedians and pay them.
Yes, right?
God bless you.
Yeah.
Comments.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, and I think this is where, first of all, Betsy, there was a show that is done. It's a fundraiser, and I was very proud. The last one we did was the first time ever, because I took it on, that every comic was paid.
Nice.
And that's my goal, to always do that, even if it's a small amount, have that. It is a fundraiser, it is given, but at least the stipend. And then I talk to the people who run that nonprofit, and I say, we need to give them at least gas money. Come on, you're not in the red anymore, right? Let's do this and be reasonable about this. And like other thing, I book more comics, and I'm always surprised they all show up. I mean, because I expect people to flake. I mean, that happened to the last online show we did, Alice and Grace. I was like, why people keep showing up for my shows? Like, flake.
Because online is easier than driving somewhere, I think.
Not always. There's always something, and and I'm real picky. Like everyone, for example, here the people here know how to do the setup or know how to be respectful with the sound and whatnot. But like if someone's like, well, I could probably, I know I got a gig in 30 minutes and I can probably do it on my phone. I'm like, you know what? Let's save you for the next show, because if it's streaming on YouTube, within the first 10 minutes, if the sound is wonky. They're moving off.
Absolutely. It's the first literally 15 seconds. And if something is not good, they're like, bye. So
So I'm hoping for more of that and more women's stuff, where I find my audience of women who are going to want all of your comedy on it for that relatedness. I mean, I just cracked a few jokes with that woman after the thing, and she was dying laughing. She goes, "This is so relatable," and I needed to hear that because so many times I don't hear that. And I'm not necessarily saying I just do women jokes. I don't. It's just my brain and my viewpoint.
Yeah, I get it.
Whatever country I've been into, they're the people that come up to me.
Interesting.
So I'm gonna go with that a bit more.
I love that. Yeah, it's so weird. Like for me, like on YouTube right now, it's kids.
Oh,
It is so cute. Like, and I put not made for kids, and I had to change the tone of Belle a little bit because I have like 11-year-olds and 14-year-olds, and it's so cute. So now we talk about food and homework. Belle talks about stuff like that. So it's surprising sometimes who your audience is. Like
did you list it yes for kids?
No, I said no for kids, but anybody over 12 can tune in.
Well, that's great. Congrats.
No, it's amazing. I love it. And then I have like people in their 20s, and I have like men and women like equally. But it surprised me. And a lot of the guys, I have a lot of men sometimes in my lives, like just guys. And I'm like, what the heck, So I would think women would relate more, like you said, that's what I thought. But for you, that happened. But for me, it's not. It's just a weird and wonderfully weird mix of audience.
Go for it. I mean, that's how things have become now.
Yeah.
This is someone told me early on. I was like, get out of the open mics. It'd be better than finding your good friends. Come over. They'll be honest and find your people.
Absolutely. And they, like the kids nowadays online, they tune in because that's what they do, right? So I think that's why I have a lot of kids, and I'm like Auntie Bale, because it's like they ask me questions and I'm there. I'm like, I hope I'm guiding them well, because it's like Belle is a character. So I don't know if she's, but it's, I'm guiding them okay. But it's just very surprising. And the way to go nowadays, I think, is online, to be honest, even as a stand-up comic. If you can, like what Betsy's doing, RFK, what I'm doing with the characters, and even just stand-up. I got one of the last shows we did here on Plausible got like 700 views, for example, and they watched it because I saw the amount of hours, and they were like staying on it. They weren't just like clicking. And so it's just, I think at this point in the way the world is, we need to diversify and go not just live, but I think also into the digital space, I think.
Yeah.
So that's how I see myself in 10 years. I see myself there now. It's like, I'm there now online. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank
And
you.
thank you, Will, for being here as an audience member. We appreciate you. Thank you. And Leanne, I know she's a little sick and she's still here and trying to make sure that everything goes smooth. So, all right. Thank you, guys. And if you want to do Love Gone Funny, just hit me up, and I produce it every month. So if you have new material, this is the perfect place to try it. So,
Awesome.
all right. All right, guys. Thank